Hello there, silver screen geeks. Welcome back to our channel. With the recent flops of the MCU, everyone's been wondering if the superhero genre is saturated. Is it time for a break from capes and powers? What's gone wrong since Avengers, Endgame? We've done some digging to find answers to these questions and more. The analysis is pretty extensive, so we've decided to break it down into 5 parts or more if needed. So let's get going with part 1. The beginning. The first ever superhero to hit the big screen in a high-budget movie was none other than Superman in Superman, the movie in 1978. Back then, things were different. The Cold War was at its peak, and the tension between the USA and USSR influenced major global decisions. Both sides were trying to prove their superiority in science, sports, and even culture. With an astronomical budget of $55 million, which would be about $195 million today, and with assistance from the US military providing locations and airships for shooting the flight scenes, the movie promised that you will believe a man can fly. This drew millions to theaters, mostly out of curiosity, as it was the first ever cinema superhero flick. It was hard to imagine anyone could realistically portray a man who could fly, freeze breath, repel bullets, and shoot laser beams from his eyes. The result was an incredible box office success, grossing $300 million, equivalent to over $1 billion today. The novelty of superheroes on the silver screen guaranteed its success, but the movie had one-dimensional characters, some poor acting. Marlon Brando as Jor-El was anything but convincing, and lacked action scenes. The film focused on the relationship between Superman and Lois Lane, with simple, unpretentious jokes, much like recent Marvel and DC movies. People were amazed and now believed a Superman movie could work, leading to Superman 2. Doubling down, in 1980, the budget for the movie was $54 million. The film portrayed multiple layers of Clark Kent struggling with his Superman identity while trying to live a normal life. Lois discovers his secret, leading Superman to give up his powers to live a happy human life with her. Meanwhile, Zod, Ursa, and Nan are accidentally released from the Phantom Zone and gain the same powers as Superman, wreaking havoc worldwide by attacking the White House. Convinced by Lois, Clark regains his powers and suit to confront Zod. They fight in the city, with the battle evenly matched until Superman tricks them into losing their powers. He then throws Zod into a pit at the Fortress of Solitude, ending him for good. The movie excelled in storytelling and character development, but it didn't attract the same audience numbers, grossing $190 million, equivalent to $673 million today. It wasn't as profitable as the first movie, but it was still a success. Hollywood producers were satisfied, especially as merchandise sales skyrocketed, creating a licensing frenzy. Superman 3 was greenlit, but from here on, I won't delve into the story. The third movie had a more modest budget of $39 million in 1983, equivalent to $97 million now, and only grossed $80 million, about $200 million in current numbers. The public and critics alike were disappointed because the movie took on a more comedic tone. Despite the modest profit, it was still considered a success, leading to the infamous Superman 4. With a budget of only $17 million in 1987, it only grossed $36 million at the box office. Poor special effects and a shallow plot were the final nails in the Superman movie franchise's coffin. You see, novelty draws people to the cinema. The sequel tried to add depth to the character, and while it didn't match the box office of its predecessor, it still made a huge profit. Executives then changed the tone, opting for comedy, which ultimately led to the audience losing interest. This mirrors what's happening today. Initially, Marvel engaged with more serious topics. Iron Man criticized weapons industry, Captain America criticized the military direction in World War II, and Thor explored more personal themes like greed, arrogance, and redemption in a Shakespearean style, while showing the cosmic world of Marvel, creating depth and relatable characters, all while delivering action-packed movies. But the latest films have lacked character development and are overloaded with jokes, trying to mimic the Superman, the movie vibes. However, producers seem to forget that the key to that movie's success was novelty, which is something that's lacking in today's films. To succeed, they need to delve into character depths, introduce new characters, and build compelling villains. And that wraps up part 1 of our series on the superhero genre saturation on the big screen. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss part 2, where we'll talk about the next wave of superhero movies. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Wishing you all the best, and see you in the next video.